Good afternoon. When I was invited to be part of Future Leaders Summit, I immediately tried to reorganize all other activities to be able to be here today. I wanted to share, of course, some thoughts that I find inspiring and important for today, but also to feel the energy, the passion, and all the positive stories around the people who are connected to the Bosnia Herzegovina Future Foundation. And my first message today for all young people and for all students here today is get involved in different activities, different programs offered by Bega Future Foundation, but also by other similar organizations, because it's the only way we can develop ourselves, then travel, do your masters, your different student project abroad, but also take all other opportunities that you have here in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Because, trust me, life and professional growth are much, much more than just passing exams and having good grades. And I started this presentation with this first message purposely, because I know the mentality of our Bosnian students. We are just, oh, I have to just finish all my exams and pass and have good grades. No, again I repeat, our professional growth and our life are much more than passing exams. So let's get inspired by each other's stories. My story started in a small village in Bugojno, where I was born and grew up and had a really beautiful early childhood. But later, during my primary school, I moved to Sarajevo, where I also finished high school, Turkish Bosnian Sarajevo College, and after that I enrolled in Faculty of Natural Science and Mathematics, where I studied physics. When I got my bachelor degree, I applied for the Baden-Württemberg scholarship and went to study photonics at the University of Applied Science in Aalen, in Germany. My final project, my master thesis, I was doing in Tübingen in collaboration with Tübingen University Hospital. After earning my master's degree, I found an open PhD position at KU Leuven in the field of LED technology and optical modeling. So I applied, I got accepted, and I got full scholarship. And voila, I found myself in Belgium. Just recently, in October of this year, I got my PhD diploma, and here I'm to share my story how this little girl went all this long journey. So this photo was taken on the day of my father's funeral, like during the Janaza prayer. And the death of my father was the turning point in my life. Only 2 years after this photo was taken, that long journey of this young girl started. When I said I moved to Sarajevo, or I went to Sarajevo during my primary school, I actually went to Gaza's school. It's an institution for children who lost one or both parents. So every other weekend I was traveling back to home, to Bugojno, to my family. After in Gaza's, I was doing well. I was a great student, and I was doing well in math and physics competitions. So I got a scholarship to go to Turkish Bosnian Sarajevo College. And every next step afterwards was the real result of my hard work and effort. And this whole long journey is a journey of persistence, effort, hard work of this young, determined Bosnian girl. So now you know a little bit about me. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm finally talking Bosnian in front of my public. So I would like now to talk a little bit about my PhD and what I did during this period in Belgium. So you will hear more about quantum dots, quantum dot LEDs, and so on. So the title of my PhD was Optical Modeling and Design of Quantum Dot on Chip LEDs. So this topic is based on two Nobel Prize winning technologies. In 2014, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for development of highly efficient blue LEDs, and just recently, last year in 2023, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded for the development of colloidal quantum dots. So what are quantum dots? Quantum dots, or semiconductor nanocrystals, are tiny nanoparticles which are also luminescent materials, and they have ability to absorb shorter wavelengths or color of light, for example blue light, and then to convert it to a longer wavelength or light color, for example green or red light. So simply said, quantum dots have ability to change color of light. But what makes quantum dots special in comparison to all other different luminescent materials is the fact that we can cover whole visible spectrum using the single material, for example indium phosphide. So just by changing the size of quantum dots. So for example, bigger quantum dots, when they absorb blue light, will convert it to red light, while smaller quantum dots will convert it to green light. Thus again, by changing only quantum dot size, diameter of quantum dots, material always stays the same, we can cover whole visible spectrum. And then the idea is to combine these quantum dots, which will absorb blue light from the blue LED chip, and get green, red, white, or any other customized spectrum. And here is the process how we make one quantum dot on chip LED. So, firstly, we blend different type of luminescent materials, for example, quantum dots. Depending on the final application, for example, if we want to have RGB quantum dot LED, we will blend green and red quantum dots. We blend, mix quantum dots usually with transparent resin, and then we stir it well to have uniform mixture and apply it on the blue LED chip. Further, we cure it with UV light, and then voila, we have a quantum dot LED. And this now we can test. For example, we can measure its spectral power distribution, output power, and so on. Quantum dots are not something from the far future. Osram has already used red quantum dots for their white osconic LEDs. But quantum dots that were used here for Osram's LEDs are cadmium based. And cadmium is highly hazardous element. So its usage is either restricted or even completely prohibited in certain countries. So during my PhD, I was using cadmium-free indium phosphide quantum dots as a less hazardous alternative. So during my PhD, I had to make computational model of quantum dots and also try to increase the efficiency of quantum dot LEDs. We also made different quantum dot LEDs for different applications. For example, green LEDs, white LEDs with really high ability, which have really high ability to render color perfectly. Like as you can see, that our, for example, dress looks the same under artificial and natural light. Then we made RGB quantum dot LEDs and LEDs with optimal circadian efficiency. And here are some examples of quantum dot LEDs that we made during my PhD. For example, green quantum dot LED and amber quantum dot LED using indium phosphide quantum dots. So as I said, in October I defended my thesis, I got my doctoral degree, and after my ceremony, after the public defense, the head of doctoral committee invited my older daughter to come and give me diploma. And of course, her younger sister couldn't let all glory to only to her older sister, so they both were on the stage in that moment. So I really held like 3 greatest diplomas in my hands in that moment. So this is second message here today for young mothers or young women. A family life can slow you down when compared to your other colleagues. But we should try to not let it stop us in pursuing our dreams. Another thing that I think is important for young people, and I would like to talk just shortly about, is to keep our LinkedIn profiles updated. Because LinkedIn profiles are kind of online CVs. And for example, if we apply for a job, especially in the West, there's a great possibility that employers or recruiters will look over LinkedIn's before, if they think that we are good candidates. So I suggest that you have updated your LinkedIn profiles to have this headline under your name that clearly reflects what's your background, what are your skills, what's your profession, and also to connect different companies, professors, labs, whatever your interests are. So in that way you will be informed about new trends, opportunities, but also you will be informed about eventual job openings. So I will also share my examples and how LinkedIn helped me in my career. So after I did my PhD, I put the status on my LinkedIn open to work, and I also connected to all labs, professors that I thought that may be interesting in my case. And soon after that, one of professors from the photonic research group just done in my field contacted me and offered me postdoc position. So we talked recently and we agreed in our future collaboration. Yeah, that's my third message for today. Keep your LinkedIn updated. There could come something interesting for you as well. Sometimes for me it's hard when I talk about my private life. It's maybe I still didn't process everything, like all the events that happened. So it can be hard for me to share publicly. But I found somebody who does it really good, and which story is like clear inspiration. And my last suggestion for today is to listen to the speech of Omer Vashić-Mihata. She was also part of the Future Leaders Summit during previous years, and her speech is still available on YouTube. So, if you really need inspiration, if you really want to see how hard work and persistence, where it can bring you in your life, I really suggest to listen to the speech of Omer Vashić-Mihata. If you have more questions, please ask.